Yo, welcome people to Number Zero Talks, episode 22, nigga, of Number Zero Talks podcast with Schizophrenic Rye. We got all the blickadoos. We got all the blickadoos all around us, nigga, all around us. We got everything we need. And basically, for this episode, we're basically going to be talking about my music, okay? What is Schizophrenic Rye, okay? Schizophrenic Rye is basically the world of fucking Schizophrenic Rye. Planet is Schizophrenic Rye. Then we got the God Exueve, the Demon, the Villain Node, and, of course, Time being, like, the fucking reality, basically, of Priv and Grim. Next album will, of course, be Priv and Grim. They all got somewhat fleshed out just a little bit, to a lot. Some more important than others, and I'm basically going to break down exactly what my music is about, okay? First, we have Planet Schizophrenic Rye, which is about 26 fucking rappers and fucking like 10 fucking combinations of rappers. Or, what I should say is basically like their mindsets and emotions. Each character of Schizophrenic Rye, Planet Schizophrenic Rye, are emotions or mindsets that you are in. I decided in the very beginning of my very first project that I would, in the easiest way I can fucking describe it, easiest fucking way, nigga, describe it, is that I wanted to find out about myself. I wanted to know exactly why I was the way I was, and I wanted to flesh out every single piece of me. And so I started off with creating 4 parts of me. And then those 4 emotions that I had at the time that were ruling over me divided into many more emotions as I started to express myself out more and more and find out all the different parts of me. With fucking Rich Smeezy and fucking all nigga and fucking Euphoria and all this other shit, nigga. Just some of the characters. And basically, those will always be around. They're in book 1, and they're also a little bit in book, like, I want to say, like, 2.5. And they're in book 5. And they'll be around again in probably book 9. Not 9, book 8, my bad. I like to bring back the Planet Schizophrenic Rock characters, the emotions, the mindsets. Basically, every now and then, cause I start off with it, and it's like my main sort of way to express myself with all these different rappers that are basically fucking just all me, and they're basically all the emotions inside of my fucking crazy ass head, nigga, and my mindsets that rule over my life, and go from happy to sad to fucking anger, to the fucking psychotic part of me, all around, based around Lord Homicide, Lord Suicide being the main enemies, along with the God Euphoria, and basically all my emotions and mindsets be fighting Euphoria, and be fighting Lord Homicide, Lord Suicide, and Acceptance T, fucking time, nigga. You gotta accept your time. And fucking stand, idolization. We go all around. I don't have no fucking notepad right now that has all my characters. I'm recording this video and I can't really do them both because then I'll be like constantly sliding through about all the characters. But basically, if you listen to the shit, you can basically get the shit. Especially if you listen to the free unofficial free adless music. Eventually, while you're listening to it, you'll be like, hold on, wait a minute. And then you'll start getting it, and that's why I got my loyal ass group of fans. Thank you so much. You made this possible. You gave me, just by viewing a fucking song with the same fucking title over and over again, you gave me the ability to believe in myself. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, nigga. Anyway, and after we got Planet Schizophrenic Rye, Then, of course, we got the second character to be introduced in book 2, and in book 6, and eventually in book 9. We have the god Exueve. Exueve stands for the materials and the objects in this world. While you physically inside have all your emotions and mindsets, outside of you are objects and materials like the elements and fucking colors and fucking, those are objects and materials basically. So you can kind of get where the Exueve is going to be going and what the song's going to possibly sound like. Well, except it's broken into stories. And so with characters and versus battles and all types of shit. My emotions were fighting each other in the beginning. And now I have basically Exueve, fucking God, fighting all the fucking materials and objects in this world. That's Exueve. Look forward to that in book 9 and some in book 7. There'll be a short little story in book 7, just like there'll be a short story with the villain Node, who I'm about to talk about in a minute. But basically, we got all them fucking materials and objects. So we got emotions and mindsets. We got materials and objects. Then we got the demon, the villain Node, nigga. Devil and naughty, nigga. The evil and naughty. The villain and no OD. Or NODE, nigga. Fuck yeah. And the villain Node is basically brands, corporations, and groups, nigga. Because once you have your mindsets inside of you, and then you have the materials, objects all around you, then you have the people that form into groups and cliques. That's the world. And so the villain Node is basically always going to be fighting corporations and brands. Like cereals, which is released now, so I can talk about it. Or the one before that, fucking fast food franchises, nigga. If we could bring some fast food franchises back, we could add some more. But that won't be till maybe book 10 or something like that. There might be some little thrown in hints in book 8 and book 9. Like some thrown in throwaway albums that might introduce characters some more. But yeah, that's basically, so we got Planet of Schizophrenic Ra, the emotions and mindsets. Then we got God Exueve, the materials and the objects. Then we got the villain Node, the brands, groups, corporations. People coming together with similar minds and interests. We could do religion someday in the villain Node, but I don't want to spoil too much shit. And they're all in story format. And then the last one, which I don't think anybody fucking saw coming, nigga, because I introduced it in a short little story, and it was basically kind of obvious. It was there for years, and nobody even fucking realized, nigga. But then we got Priv and Grim, nigga. Privilege and Gremlage, nigga. The people that have a good life and the people that have a hard upbringing. And they fight together in time and age. And so Priv and Grim is gonna be my next album, which I'm gonna be recording probably sometime this week, probably this weekend. Get it out. And Priv and Grim is time and age. So we got Planet Schizophrenic Ra, the emotions and mindsets. Then we got God Exueve, the materials and the objects. Then we got the villain Node, the fucking groups and brands and corporations. The people coming together. So all these mindsets and emotions coming together with similar thought processes for a common goal. My fans are basically the villain Nodes, nigga, because I'm a brand. Schizophrenic Ra is a brand. It's a musical brand, but it's still a brand nonetheless. And then we got Priv and Grim, time and fucking age, nigga. This video is a certain length of time. In that amount of time, Priv and Grim have taken over. The privilege I have and the gremlage I have. My good parts of my life and my bad parts of my life. my good parts of my life, and my bad parts of my life. It really gets you thinking, doesn't it? About all that I've been doing with music for these 9 years, and by year 10, everything will be somewhat fleshed out. And then it's just continuing on with it. Will I add more characters? I don't think I don't have enough room to add all my characters, even on some names for my content, like my social handles, stuff like that. There ain't enough room. But what I can say happily is that I work towards it, and I'm seeing it come to tuition. I am teaching these kids, these youth, the multiple factors of the universe. We have time as you age. We have your emotions that lead to your mindsets. We have the objects and materials around you. And then we have the groups and brands and corporations, the people coming together for a common goal, whether it be good or evil. That is basically my music. Now let's break down the books that have come out so far. We got book 0.5, which is basically some of my favorite songs out of my filler from my first story. Then we have book 1, which is basically all, literally all, link in the description, linktree Richlynd, linktree/Richlynd, RCHLYND. It literally is all, as much as I could possibly describe of it at least, in a shortened format of my free Atlas music story. It's basically skipping through it faster and faster. So it's in a filler version of it, but it doesn't have all the explanation and the story dump and the character development, really, that the free Atlas music has. But I had to shorten it down and put it out because it's part of Planet Schizophrenic Ride, the universe, nigga. Emotions and mindsets. Then we got book 1.5, which is just more of me, Richlynd, explaining out my emotions and my feelings and doing basic sort of type of music. Then we have book 2, which is basically an introduction to Exuive in a D&D story format, which is very amazing, and he bases basically materials like the colors, and a little bit, I wanted to say it was kind of an error, but not really, because Slim Jim is an object, that's what we call them, beef sticks. But it did go a little bit into the corporations and brands, because those are kind of material, and those are kind of objects too, but not as much as I'm into it now, because I didn't invent Priv and Grim at the time yet. So that's a little bit of an error on my part for the prequel, at least, and the story of the D&D story of the Cult of Exuive in the D&D set universe versus the metals and the gems and the colors, nigga. That was the main goal of it. And then we got book 2.5, which is basically just has a Priv and Grim story in there where I introduce those and nobody saw them coming with time and age, but I haven't explained it on it yet because that's a weird one to get into. It's basically like going through the ages, like age 3, age 6, age 9, age 12, age 15, age 18, age 21, and age 35, nigga. When it was a very, very, very smart project to make. I'm happy that I made it in the past because it just puts everything together with time and age. Then we have book 3, because book 2.5 has more of just my personality and my emotions and regular sort of music too, without characters and verse battles. But then we have book 3, which is a throwaway but yet a very important album, which I can't technically say is part of emotions and mindsets. But I can't say that it's part of materials and objects. I can't say that it's a part of time and age. Even though one version of it is emotion love. But that's what Richlynd in Planet Schizophrenic Ride, which stands for the love. But look, it's like in book 3, I wanted to make a project for the people. I wanted to introduce the sides of the world in a nice project as the goal of life, nigga. The goal in your life, the greatest of all life, basically. The greatest of all life. I'm not a goal. I'm a goal, nigga. I'm what you want to strive for. Basically, introducing drugs with the advanced version of drugs, and then basically the single about drugs, and then introducing war and money, and then love. The 4 corners, I like to say, of the world. That's book 3. People are on drugs to live, and they're also on drugs to relax. Or they're on drugs because they're an addict. People are about money because money makes the world go round. People are about love because that's your emotional side. That's why you continue to live. That's why you fucking fight, nigga. That's why you fucking fight. And we also gotta throw in fucking war because that's a part of human civilization and all creatures is war against 2 different groups or corporations, like some like fucking. Basically, it's like a quick version of, and it's kind of a hint project to what everything was gonna turn out in the end, because it breaks down the fucking emotions with love, fucking materials and objects with drugs. Fucking time basically with war, and money with brands and corporations and groups. So it's like a throwaway project, but it's a good project, and I recommend you listen to book 3, as book 3 can help you break off of drugs, and it's like an introduction album to me, kind of, in the world, and what you gotta fucking do in order to be the goal of all fucking life, nigga. Of all fucking life. Greatest of all fucking life, nigga. Then we got book 3.5 and book 3.773, which are basically me finding myself taking a break and then coming back and continuing on with it because I said I could fucking do it. Stuff was going on in my life. I was going through hardship. I was taking care of family members. And I did it. And I didn't have time to basically go out and constantly fucking record because I was pretty busy with real world. And it's like a giant switch where at the end of book 3.5 I'm like hurt. And then by book 3.773, I'm coming back and I'm expressing on my pain more, explaining more of Richlynd. And then of course, we have book 4, which is just in a way my diary to Eminem, my inspiration, but also kind of like a rival, or a competitor I should say. And me dissing that nigga for 61 songs, showing him I'm the best in a respectful way. Without really like, I'm gonna fucking kill your family. I never said some shit like that. It's more like, hey, you got a lot of daughters. I'm a good looking dude and I'm also very smart and intelligent. And odds are, if your daughters weren't in a relationship, or if your daughters were younger, and I was younger, and we met, odds are they'll probably be into a nigga like me. Because they like you. That's the most respectful way I can do it. And it basically says that none of you niggas will ever be able to diss my idol, kind of a little bit, or my inspiration at least, who made me first pick up a goddamn tape recorder and record my voice when I was just a little tiny kid in the early 2000s. Because I saw this dude rapping and it inspired me. And then when I got older, I got into it after building up reputation and doing other things. So that's book 4. That's all of book 4 basically. It's like a love diary slash a fucking hate diary slash a fucking you better notice me nigga. Cause this is some real shit. And what I'm gonna do will change the fucking music forever. Then we got book 5, which is bringing back the Planet of Schizophrenic Rock characters, emotions, basically basing them around, best way I can describe it, countries, and doing a lot with the countries, basically explaining some of the major countries in the world that most of the people know about, and flushing it out with the countries. We're still having the emotions and mindsets, basically backing up the countries. I basically divided all my characters into like fucking 8 groups. 8 times 3, that's 24. And then there's 2 extra ones, and then there's some all other ones, and so there's like more characters and more characters. There's over 30. I know that for a fact. There's over 30 different characters. Maybe 32, 33, somewhere around there. I can't remember exactly. But then there's a combination too, so that puts it at like fucking 43. And then divisible by 55, nigga, basically. There's like 31 characters. And then they're like 30. We ain't getting into it, okay? I'm divisible a lot. My emotions and mindsets. Basically describing this world for the youth and the teens in a musical way so that they can get through their emotions. While I listen to a nigga that done been through some real shit. And survived it. Using me as an example in the lesson. Doing this shit is not easy. I recommend nobody fucking do it because it takes years upon years. It takes like a fucking decade of your life before you actually hit a point of recording every fucking chance that you fucking can. Album after fucking album, song after song, staying up fucking nights, all night, constantly recording, looking through beats, all types of crazy ass motherfucking shit. It's hard. It's very hard. I make it look easy because I'm experiencing it now. I went through my growth stages and I learned that I could actually rap, and so I was able to actually do it. But I recommend that the kids, the youth, if they try to get into music, they never try and do what I fucking did. Because you'll basically get any fans, low amount of fans, for a lot of time. Because they won't know what the fuck's going on, so you fucking explain it in a video like this. But yeah, it's not easy. Then we got so that's book 5, the planets, basically the characters from Planet of Schizophrenic Rock in the real world like planet instead of in a fictional world. Like inside my head, now they're outside the head in the world in book 5. Then book 6 is basically some throwaway albums. Not really throwaway, more like just spur of the moment albums. Like LA Annex and Real Me. There's some fire music you can listen to. Showing some more Richlynd. Well, at the same fucking time, getting back into Exueve. And introducing the villain node, which was a final step before I could make a video like this. Exueve in book 6 is basically all the elements, and it's gonna come back in book 9 in a story. Not just verse battles, but actual story that's gonna drive me fucking insane. And I'm trying to figure out a way to do it to not make it too long, where it's fucking so many fucking albums, nigga, like the 13 fucking albums that it was. more like 10 or 9. I can't make another project like that so soon. That's why that's gonna be within the next year, basically. After book 7 is done, probably a little bit in the summer, and then book 8, I'm gonna bring back Planet Schizophrenic Ra, and book 9, we're going more in Exuive with some De Villain Note thrown in, probably in book 8. And some more Priven Grimm, because Priven Grimm's gonna be the next album in book 7. Book 7's gonna be a sort of short album. It's already 20 songs, and I got at least maybe 6 more albums planned, 2 Priven Grimm albums, and 2 more Devil Note albums, and maybe 2 more Exuive short story albums. I got a 2-parter. While Devil Note's a 4-part, and Priven Grimm is gonna be like 2 separate 1-parts. Exuive is going to be 2 small little stories in the middle before I hit all the fucking elements in book 9 after going back to Planet Schizophrenic Ra for book 8. In book 7 basically is fleshing out the villain node with the brands and corporations and groups. There's a lot I can do with it. There's a lot I can do with everything. And Planet Schizophrenic Ra, I got to bring that back and do a new way, and I'm constantly thinking about it. Even now, I'm saying this shit, I'm constantly thinking of new fucking ways that I can expand it out for future books of music. Not albums, not EPs, not singles, but books of fucking music, where it's all those things put together that you can listen to for hours in a playlist, and you can feel it, and you can spend your time with your friends, your loved ones, or by yourself, really contemplating your life and being empowered by it. Again, we got Planet Schizophrenic Ra, the emotions, nigga, and the goddamn mindsets. Then we have Exuive, the motherfucking materials and the objects. Then we have the villain node, the motherfucking brands, groups, corporations. Then we have Priven Grimm, privilege, gremlage, time, and age, nigga. You see what this shit is doing to me. I'm finally at a point where I can relax because I got all the shit that was inside my mind from being plagued with audio-only schizophrenia. Hearing this shit. Constantly wondering what is wrong with me. And I'm able to put it out in a healthy, positive way to inspire people, whether you have a mental illness or not. Whether you are disabled or not. You can fucking do it. You just have to find something and you have to stick to it. If you're talented in it, or even if you want to become talented in it, nigga. This is basically breaking down schizophrenia, or Schizophrenic Ra's music, nigga. I'm Richlynd, I didn't create the shit. I done did it first, so everyone else will be imitation. Well, I imitated sort of the idea, but I took it to the extreme and put in all the effort and time and work it takes to do this shit behind it. I'm about to be 30 years old this year, and it'll be about a decade since I started pretty soon. I just hit year 9 a couple months ago, so in about sometime next year, I'll officially hit year 10 of making music and putting all this stuff together in my head, because I said I wanted to be the savior of music. I said I wanted to change music forever. I said instead of listening to somebody talking about all the bodies that they done claim responsibility for, nigga, I wanted to fucking hear a fucking story, a fucking movie. I don't want my music to really be in movies or TV shows that much. I want my music to be turned into a fucking movie or fucking TV show. This has been Schizophrenic Rye with Number Zero Talks, episode 22. Please have a safe, loving-filled day with many heartbreak and ache, pushing through it with your willpower, nigga, in your brain. Have a good day.